Joining us now on Kantipur News is political analyst and journalist Chandra Kishore Lal, best known among his readers and audience as CK Lal. It's good to have you with us on Kantipur News. Welcome to Kantipur News, Mr. CK Lal.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to talk to you.
Let's start with the obvious. Did you see this coming? Why do you think the coalition, which was questionable to begin with, considering the differences in political ideologies, broke apart?
I think ideology was never a question. So it was not on ideological ground that coalition was formed, and it is not on ideological ground that it has broken. It's more to do with practical consideration. In Nepali Congress, there was this major party syndrome that we are a big party, so we should have our way in cabinet decision. They failed to realize that in prime ministerial system, no matter even if it is one parliament member's party leading the government, and that person is the prime minister, then prime minister holds the key to the government. So it was a clash of ego and insecurity of prime minister. Then there was dissatisfaction among the cadres of Nepali Congress as well as NCP Maoists. So in a way, it's somewhat strange that it lasted for as long as it did, considering the differences that were being aired from different forums from both parties.
Now, a few international media have speculated that there have been influences from our neighboring nation, China. Do you think that factor has played a part in the breaking away of the alliance?
It's always the fate of smaller countries, weaker countries, poor countries, to bear such interferences in various ways. But in this case, I think such interferences, whether from north, south, or up in the sky, possible but unlikely. No external player has any faith in the integrity of any Nepali politicians. So, of course, the kind of change in the government will make Chinese temporarily relieved that, okay, at least people not very antagonistic to us are in the driving seat, even though it will be from the backseat driving of UML. Americans will perhaps be a bit edgy about the fate of MCC. Indians probably a little nervous, but all these external actors, as it were, they know that Nepal doesn't have much leeway in getting too far away from where it is now in matters of economic policy or foreign policy. Politics may matter internally, but the geopolitical role of Nepal for now is defined by its own interest, and there is kind of in the triangle of three external players, they are in balance right now. So I don't think any major intervention was there. Subtle ways, of course, they keep happening all the time. There are very powerful ambassadors and we keep on getting visitors. So we can speculate the way we like, but I don't think it has been very obvious.
Now, at a program earlier today, the Prime Minister said political upheavals will be the norm until he dies. A few other leaders also took on social media saying that the ongoing dirty game endangered federalism, democracy and republicanism, and that enough is enough. Do you think the public are carrying the same sentiment, and what should the public make of this scenario, and if this is making a mockery of their mandate?
Not really. Prime Minister's statement is indirect declaration of defeat, that his political life has been wasted. He came up with a lot of promises, and to say that as long as he is alive, there will be disturbances is an acceptance of defeat, political defeat. He seems to be very resigned, and it's not very good to have a defeated person in the leadership position. But as far as the Nepali public is concerned, they voted whom they voted by fully knowing who they are voting for. to form coalitions, because majority government in such a scenario was very unlikely. And in any case, government has ceased to matter in most of things of public life in a remittance-dependent country. You need water, you buy tanker water, or if you are in a village, you fetch it from a stream or river. Sanitary being what it is, government cannot provide jobs, no economic security. So government acts almost parallel to public life, where people are left to their own devices. They have to fight their own little wars, and they have to earn their own living by sweating it out, and not just sweat, but also shedding blood in places like Ukraine and Russia. So, I mean, directly involve people apart, the political class apart. Most of the people are simply indifferent to what is happening in Singh Darbar. And that is one of the reasons that these politicians have been doing what they are doing without any concern for the public.
Mr. Lal, what does this imply on the good governance part and also our economy?
This is something which worries me, because no matter whether you like it or not, whether you have any interest in governance or not, governance affect in some ways. So what the message this will give to the bureaucracy, through which governance is delivered at the doorstep of the people, the message that will give is you don't really have to worry too much about politicians, because they come and go. We are here. We are the permanent government. They'll have their own way. Then similarly, the plutocracy, government of the rich, who manipulate such affair that you don't like a minister, you can just get rid of that minister, or that prime minister even for that matter, by just juggling with the coalition partner. So this message, this strengthens the power of the rich. As it is, confidence of the investor was already abysmally low. And on the eve of organizing international investors conference, you just give out a message that you are going to change the finance minister, you are going to change the industry minister. Naturally it will have a fallout. So secretaries will probably be changed, joint secretaries. So this doesn't give a positive message. Similarly, a major event in Lumini is planned with a lot of Nobel Prize winners. And then what kind of a message you are giving on the eve of such a global event, that, okay, there is a kind of, you cannot be sure of anything. So all the negative message passing will definitely have somewhat negative impact on the governance. And on economy, of course, as it is, everything seems to be going haywire, with so many ministers and senior officials charged with corruption, several business persons, and where those cases will go, all that remains to be seen. But definitely, a lot of things that happen in governance is perception. And definitely this is going to create a very negative perception.
Now, the politics at center naturally has a telling impact in the provincial setups as well. Several parties and leaders have also already begun staking their claims at the provinces. What do you think are the implications overall in case of our federal setup?
The political equation at the federal level certainly will have a fallout in the arithmetic of political arithmetic at provincial level. Governments will change definitely, and perhaps that was one of the causes, especially in Kosi, from where this started. Of course, there had been other, like declaration of Nepali Congress, and criticism from the cadres of Maoist Party that their leadership is not standing up for them. There are several other reasons, but one of them was this calculations at the provincial level. So definitely There will be a lot of instability in almost all the provinces. But as far as the local government is concerned, where mayors are in real terms directly elected chief executives. So local governments may not be affected very much by changes at the federal level. And that, I think, is a saving grace, because in the governance system that we have adopted, provinces are weak, so changes there do not affect daily life. But of course, federal level affects a bit. But what affects a lot to the population is the government at the local level, where directly elected mayors or deputy mayors, they will probably will not be very much affected by it, except that it may become a little more difficult for them to deliver their services. Other than that, not much. So I think that is the saving grace, which will keep general people a bit more insulated from changes in Singh Darbar.
Before we let you go, Mr. Lal, you've observed Nepali politics for many years now. Where are we headed to when we have a galore of pressing matters in hand?
This directionlessness that started from 2015 continues, you see. Uh, mm, I mean, everybody seems to be in a hurry to go nowhere. So when you are in a hurry to go nowhere, you end up running around in circles, and that is what our political class has been doing. I mean, we have a lot of slogans: prosperity and federalism and republic. Inclusion. I mean, every imaginable ideal is there in the constitution. Where it lacks is, for example, secularism. What does secularism, how secularism is defined in Nepal's constitution? You talk of inclusion, but how it is defined. You talk of federalism, how it is defined. So everybody, we want everything now. So that has been reflected in the political class, and political class doesn't have a clue. No ideology, no agenda, nothing more than slogans. That is what is dissipating. That's why people are getting kind of fed up, and everybody who can find an alternative seems to be voting with their feet, running away from this country, especially the youth, who should be, job of a leader is to lead and to create hope. A leader is a dealer in hope. And that hope seems to be missing in the activities of political class. So a bit of directionless seems to be the order of the day for a while. Of course, we'll find out a way. One should not hope. Optimism is what keeps human life alive. But at this moment, there seems to be no light at the end of the tunnel, or if there is a light, it seems to be that of a train coming from the opposite direction. So it's a bit frightening.
Thank you for joining us on Kantipur News. Thank you for your time and your valuable opinion as well. That was Mr. C.K. Lal, a political analyst and a journalist.